Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here the ES finished the previous session with a failed new low here, finished right above the previous session's midpoint, and looked as though it was going to gear up for a potential rally, at least a one more day rally. But instead, we're seeing a little bit of a failed new high develop today with a harsh pullback to the midpoint. That midpoint is going to be very, very important today, 39.14s or so. A failure to hold that level, 39.13 quarters, the actual level. A failure to hold that level could open up a bearish outside day at some point today. So we could be looking at another failed new high here that leads to a push through the mid and a new low. That's what we're looking for here if the midpoint gives out today. Overall, we've seen this market kind of hold near these lows here at the moment, but we're still in a downtrending market, so any strength, even if it's a one-day move here, could still be seen as an opportunity to sell it for another round of weakness until proven otherwise. So keep an eye on the previous session's midpoint. A failure there opens up the potential for an outside day down. If bulls are able to get an early rejection of those of that midpoint there, we could end up with a bit of strength later on in the day. Again, right now, getting the market to go up or at least stay up has been like pulling teeth here. So it's been very, very difficult at the moment, and overall the downtrend remains fully intact, and any strength could still be seen as an opportunity to sell for bears. If we take a look here at the NQ, you'll notice right now the NQ is well below the previous session's midpoint already. On downswings, tech has been getting hit much harder, and again, any failure to stay above that midpoint right now, 11,747s, could open up more downside ahead with new lows down the way. Overall, even if we were to get a little bit of an upside push here, that would take us right into the bearish Pima trigger zone, and again, another trap and reverse could be seen ahead until proven otherwise. Taking a look at crude oil, this one's up 1.25% right now. Again, after bouncing off the middle of the range at around 104, 105, we've seen price approach the 112s, 113 zone, and the upper end of the range here, 115 or so, could still be a test ahead. We have a very narrow range overall that's developed over the last 4 days or so, and once we get out of that range, we could see additional movement. If we quantify the 4-day range right here, you'll see how compressed that 4-day range has been. 32% of average, and the potential move will take us at least to average range for that, and that'll be about 11 points. If we were to get the full expansion amount, that would be 13.77 points of potential movement. Again, that can go in both ways. If price were to go up and rally and fail at 115, we could see, say, a 10 to 11 point drop back toward 104s. That would probably be the most expected outcome right now, but at the moment, narrow 4-day range, and we could be looking for expansion here pretty soon. Taking a look at Bitcoin, you'll see Bitcoin continues to develop a very narrow range here, 9 days and developing right now. That narrow range again could see a major release up ahead, likely to the downside as we've mentioned, and the more that this range continues to develop, the more energy continues to be built. Again, typically speaking, when you get a significant rejection and you get some absorption off to the right edge, you want to start seeing an upward push through the top end of that range. The farther we go to the sideways here, the more we build up in this narrow range, the more likely we are to see some sort of failure and a massive collapse to the downside, very similar to what we saw here, where it was just sitting on support, and once the failure occurred, we saw the major elongation and price expansion to the downside. Let's take a look here at ETH. Very similar price action here as well. I don't even have to change the drawings or the markings on the chart against what we just saw in Bitcoin. But for the most part, this one too, holding here in a narrow range, downward sloping higher levels as well. So you have a descending wedge here. As soon as 1900 gives up, that could be a significant push to the downside. And again, it's building some major energy here to be 9 days strong here. If we were to increase the ADR indicator, that could give us a major move of plus 1,000 up to about 1,100 points of range at the very least. So I mean, this could be a significant move that takes us back toward 800 points or back toward the 700 previous year's low. So it could be a significant move ahead, and this all could start with one major rally that fails, and then we could be looking at, say, an 1,100 point move from 22, and that would cut price in half yet again. So again, we are looking at perhaps another major collapse here in Bitcoin and ETH. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.